Okay, welcome to the first module of the Hustler's Guide to Making Some Cash. It is your coach, Coach Vic. I am glad to be doing this for you. So if you are looking to make some money quickly, maybe and easily, depending on who you are, well, this is the guide to help you do that. Now, as I said, I'm Coach Vic, and this is very important. I want you to understand something. Some of the things that I'm going to tell you to do, or some of the things I'm going to present to you, they may not be right for you. So it's going to be up to you to use your discretion to know what is going to be good for you, what is not. I also don't know your financial situation. So the goal here is to present a bunch of options for you so you can see in what areas can you improve your financial situation to help you invest in a course or in coaching or in Facebook ads or anything else that you're going to need to help your entrepreneurial pursuits happen. All right, so the first module here, we're going to start looking at money you didn't know you had or had access to. It's like your good old Uncle Moneybags that's coming into town and he's writing out checks. Now, again, some of these things you're going to have to use your best judgment on. I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm only here to present options. It is up to you to make a decision, and those decisions are your own decisions. So if you try something and it doesn't work out for you, don't come back complaining to me. I'm just giving you options. I'm not telling you which way to go or the other, and give you some of my personal experience as well as some research experience to help you make an educated and qualified decision. Think of this course as a way to do a little bit more research, more in-depth research that you couldn't do by just scouring the net on your own. All right, but let's jump into it. First thing we're going to talk about is personal loans. Now, this is actually pretty easy to get into, but there are some things that you must be aware of. Now, personal loans are basically what they sound like. You go to a company of some sort, and they act like a bank, and they will loan you large sums of cash. But sometimes you'll need collateral. Sometimes you need to have excellent credit. Other times you got to stay away from these predatory lenders. So the first thing you need to know is it's real easy to get loans these days, especially with the internet age. A lot of companies, big and small, are looking to loan people money because they know they can make money on the interest from those payments. They also know that a lot of people don't like to pay their debts on time, for the same reasons why a lot of entrepreneurs, or excuse me, wantrepreneurs want to buy a course, because they know they're not actually going to go through with it. The ideas are noble, the hustle is good in the beginning, but they know people get into trouble because they don't follow through on their actions and they don't have integrity of their word. You're different though. You have integrity. What you say you're going to do, you do. The debts you accumulate, you know you're going to pay off. So that's different. But if you know you don't have a great track record of actually following through on what you say you're going to do, be aware of taking a personal loan. Let's be real with ourselves. Now, I have coaching options available for you to help you turn into the person you want to be, someone of integrity, of great confidence, of great wealth. But the first way to know if you need that is to admit to yourself where you are in life. But as I said, personal loans are easy to get these days, right? Oftentimes, these personal loans, you can have the money within a few days. They make it very simple and easy. The less barriers to entry there is, the more likely people are to borrow. Now, again, this is a good way to finance your business and give you a large sum of cash. This is a little different than getting a loan from the bank, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But if you need that investment right away, there's a lot of ways you can get that to happen from these personal loan companies, right? Most of this is done online, and it usually takes a few minutes to fill out a couple of forms and provide a little bit of ID and everything, but it's pretty simple. I mean, the internet makes things much easier these days, right? Now, when you're in this, be careful of predatory lending. Now, what that means is there are certain companies who don't have a great standing, and their whole goal is to find people who they know won't pay back the money quickly. And because of that, they have these insane interest rates that it will make paying back the money almost impossible, because you'll owe more interest than you borrowed in the first place. And this doesn't happen after years and years of borrowing or holding on to the money. This can happen very quickly if you're not careful with who you deal with. Not all companies do this, but you got to be aware. You got to see some of the signs, right? Now, some of these signs may be part of these predatory lending companies. Sometimes they're part of the up and up companies. It just depends on your credit score, your collateral, what type of history you have, etc. Now, the first thing that you need to be aware of, that a lot of these places, they will ask you a fee to borrow their money. Now, again, depends on where you are and what you're doing would dictate that fee and how much it is and things like that. So just be aware those things do happen. Sometimes the way they structure these loans is if you pay it off early, and if you get my coaching, or you jump into the Get Off the Bench challenge, where you'll learn how to make a business for $100, you will pay off your debts pretty early, or you have the ability to. And some of these companies, they were hoping you wouldn't pay it back, so you will pay interest. So they will actually add a fee for paying things early. Now, depending on how much you're getting and the particulars, you may want to look at that. It might be smarter for you just to pay the thing off on their pre-calculated schedule than it is to pay it off early. Maybe paying off early with the fees is still better than paying with the interest. Totally depends. Next, be aware of the variable rates. A lot of these places, they'll have random APRs, and they're not necessarily like 4 or 5%, like, for a mortgage or something. These are like 20, 30%. And that's a lot of money, and that adds up very quickly. And sometimes they'll entice you with the low rate in the beginning and then jack it up like not long after. So be aware of that. They have to disclose if the rate is variable. And if they don't tell you what the ranges will be, ask, see what they'll tell you, and listen to your gut. Listen to if you're a female intuition. Sometimes if something doesn't feel right, it's okay. There's so many companies that do this. There's no need to feel trapped by one. All right. Now, as I said, look at the APR, make sure it's not unreasonable. Now, usually the low rates are for people who have excellent credit. So they might entice you with the low rate to get you into the door, the virtual door, so to speak. But if your credit is shit, then you're not going to get one of those low rates, right? But again, since there's so many companies out there, you can shop around. You can find what's best for you, that's going to have the rates, the APR, the terms, that it's going to work well with how you work and who you are. Now, the last thing to note, this is not a payday loan. Now, I would avoid these like the plague. Now, the payday loans are slightly different. They're similar to these like personal loans that you can get from companies, where you say, hey, I need this $500, $1,000, whatever it is, and I'll pay you as soon as I get my next paycheck. And they do a couple of checks, but in general, you're not going to get a lot of money from these guys. And two, it's basically like giving your money to a loan shark. So unless you like getting your knees broke, if you don't pay, your money within the X amount of days that's needed, stay away from these people. A lot of these payday loan places are the ones who do a lot more of the predatory lending practices that I'm warning you about. So just stay away. Like don't even if it or chance it. As I said, there's so many reputable companies out there who actually do regular personal loans, and it can be the key you need to get the money you need quickly. Now, here are some of the personal loan companies that I know exist, and they seem to be on up and up, but please, please, please do your own research. I haven't used these personally, but I've heard good things about them, but everybody is different, so your mileage may vary. But SoFi is a good one from what I've heard. Lending Tree is another one that I've heard pretty good things about. Lending Club, another good one. Kabbage.com. PayPal offers like 2-week interest-free borrowing. They also do business credit loans. So if you actually set up your business to be an LLC, or you might not even need that. I don't even know if you actually need that. I know I have an LLC, so I have a PayPal business account. But if you open a PayPal business account, right, and I don't know if they verify, what constitutes a business or not, they're always offering you free loans, free money, free everything. So that might be a way to get the cash you need to help you invest in a course, invest in your business, invest in something to help you just expand your business, right? Hey, Google it. As I said, there are a ton of companies. I did a quick Google search just to make sure the companies I heard of are still around, and so many other companies came up, right? And they're all throwing ads out there, so they have some money to spend. So there's a lot of options. You can quickly overwhelm yourself. Don't worry about that. A lot of them are very similar. Just go browse, see what works for you, and do your best do your best research to find the options that works for you. All right. But don't just do it blindly. Don't just do a casual amount of research for 5 minutes and just pick one. You may be okay, but you may get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. So, do your due diligence. Next, credit cards. Now, this is funny because a lot of people think they don't have money when they actually have a credit card in hand. And the reason why is, I think, like from the people I've talked to and clients and things like that, when you tell them, hey, what do you tell me about your credit card information, and they think just because their credit card balance isn't zero, or that they don't have large sums of money just sitting in the bank collecting dust. They don't have money. But in reality, their credit card will be the key to help you financing your course, your coaching, getting to that seminar, whatever it is, to help you truly invest in your business. And it's right there, ready to go, ready to be swiped. So easy, right? So here's the thing. You often have more money on your credit card than you realize. A lot of people, before they join the Get Off the Bench Challenge or do personal coaching with me, they don't realize that they're not tracking their income and their outcome. And because of that, they have no real idea how much money they have. And because of that, they're actually walking like a blind person into either walking off a cliff or actually into a good situation, but they don't understand that. And they could walk off a cliff by spending, and not getting an idea of how much they're actually spending and how much interest they're accumulating. Or they can be, doing a lot more with paying off their bills than they realize. And because of that, they have the money to invest to really help them make that money multiply and grow. So you have to start to be aware of how much you truly have. Now, if I say how much money you have on your credit card right now, you shouldn't have to call up your bank. You should know, right? So let that be a little bonus lesson for you. Understand your money. If you don't track your money, then you're not going to be able to make any of it. What is tracked and what is measured can be improved. If you're not tracking your money, you're not going to improve your money situation. And there's no wonder you're here looking for extra cash to invest in your business. All right. Now, here's the thing with your credit cards. A lot of times, if you've been a pretty good customer, you can ask for a credit card limit increase. Sometimes these limit increases can just be temporary, just for a one-time purchase. They're fine to do that. Other times, it could be a permanent increase. But you have to actually call them up and ask for the credit increase. Most times, you're more eligible for credit increases than you realize, especially if you had a credit card for a long period of time. Right now, if you're an adult, you have no excuse having a credit card with only like a couple $100 limit. That's silly. That's stuff for college kids. As a grown person, you need to have a higher limit because you never know what could happen. Credit cards can be great for an emergency, or as I said, it can be great for investing in your business. So a small amount of money is stupid. If you're paying everything in cash, that can be okay. It's good to avoid certain debt, especially if it's on frivolous things. But when it's talking about investments, when it's talking about growing your business, credit is where it's at. Not to mention, you can also use that money for cash back services, depending on the credit card you have. Now, the reason why credit's where it's at is because it's basically free money. If it's truly going to be an investment in your business or in yourself and it's going to pay off sooner rather than later, then basically you're like, hey, let me borrow $100 for a second. You use that $100 and you make $200. You repay that $100 without the interest because you repaid it quickly enough, or even with some interest. And now, basically, now you have whatever the leftover is, $100, $90 left. And you generated that out of nothing thanks to your credit cards, right? Now, here's the thing. New credit card offers are coming into your mailbox all the time, or they should be if your credit is anywhere decent. This ain't junk mail anymore, right? And even why? Because these new credit cards, they offer you no interest for 12 to 18 months. Now, when you want to sign up for a credit card, whether it's a new one or it's your first one, check to see what the APR is when the interest-free period is over. And the same thing as the personal loan companies, you're doing the same type of research. Except, with a credit card, if you don't actually use it, then you're not going to get yourself into trouble. So it's not a big deal. Now, don't apply for a bunch of credit cards. And if you start getting turned down for a bunch of credit cards, that will negatively affect your credit. But in general, if you're getting an offer from the mail or in the mail from your bank or your current credit card company, they're offering you that because they think you're a good quote unquote risk. And they're not going to penalize you for doing basically what they're asking you to do. So if you're getting these letters, look at them closely, see what the APR is. A standard APR is around 15 to 17%. That's about industry standard. I've seen as high as 23, 25%. So be careful. But a lot of them are variable APRs. So again, check to make sure that the variable APR isn't going to be something insane or has an insane limit once the interest-free period is done. Now, here's a bonus tip. If you already have credit card debt and you're paying interest on that now, open up a new credit card. Once you open up that new credit card, hopefully it has the limit higher or as pretty much as the limit of your current card. you can't just say, hey, credit card 2, pay off credit card 1. You have to write a check from your credit card, deposit that check into your bank account, use that check or those new funds to pay off your old credit card. So you effectively transferred the cash or the payment you have from credit card 1 to credit card 2, except now you don't have to pay, you don't have to worry about interest for 12 to 18 months. So it's a way to give you a little bit of relief. And at the same time, who knows, the limit may be higher. So you might have even more space to actually, invest in that course, invest in the Get Off the Bench Challenge, invest in one-on-one coaching with me. So it just depends on what you're doing, right? But that's just one way, an idea that you can use to help you to relieve some debt as you're investing in yourself, to improve yourself, to improve your business. Now, if you're a home, a car, or a boat owner, well, you got some other options. First, you can use a home equity line to borrow some cash. I did that with a couple of my first coaching investments, and it actually paid off. I was able to get a lot more out of it than I realized. And because I used that, I was able to get an upfront lower cost rate. Now, a lot of coaches like myself, like if you make payments over time, you'll end up paying a little bit more, but it makes it easier for you to swallow that pill. If you can come up with a large sum of cash right away, then you end up paying a little bit less. It's just a way to incentivize those who are able to take action now, as opposed to waiting around. But in general, if you want that large sum of cash, you can do that. And this also works when you're trying to do different investments in your own home. So you're going to do a remodel of your kitchen, for example, or your bathroom, 2 places where a lot of those remodeling dollars, go very a lot further in your home equity, excuse me, in the price of your home, in the value of your home. So a home equity line could be a great way to finance your business, right? You can, like the home equity thing is already set up, or it can be set up pretty easily by your bank. And in general, it's like a regular bank account. Like I know with my bank, once I log into my account online, you can see all the different accounts I have. And the home equity line is right there as if it's another checking or savings account. So it's very easy to draw money or transfer money from one account to the next, but you will have to repay it like a credit card. You'll have to set up payments to pay it back. So it's not just like a checkbook where you're just done. You'll have to be paying these monthly, just like a credit card. And a lot of the same rules of credit cards apply, except the interest rate is different. So every equity line is different. Make sure you check with your bank, talk to your bank, see what your options are, how much credit you can get, et cetera. It all depends, right? So everything is dictated on the home you own, where you live, your past history, the bank you're at. So it's hard for me to give you much more information. Again, talk to your bank. They will tell you everything you need to know. And within that, you will make the best decision for you, right? You can also use a title loan if you have an approved vehicle, a boat, or something like that. It's kind of a similar thing to a home equity line, but it's just for your car or for your boat. Now, I haven't used this personally, but I have heard of people who have done this. So I can't give you personal experience with this, but I will say this, just like with the personal lending companies, be very careful. You don't want to get involved with the wrong people. Get involved with someone who's reputable, a reputable company. So that way, that anything that they do is going to be more or less industry standard, and you'll be taken care of in random and unforeseen situations, right? Because some of these people will offer you insurance and things like that. And most likely, you'll probably get better insurance rate from your actual insurance company than you would from these guys. So again, just check around. Same thing applies to these title approved or these title loan companies as to the personal loan companies. The bank. Now, what you can do to help you get some money is opening a joint bank account with a friend or a family member, right? So a business partner, for example, or your spouse or somebody, hopefully someone with good credit. And you can use this account to potentially get a line of credit. Now, every bank is different. Every account is different. So don't just walk into the bank and think that this is going to be magical money. Ask your bank. They'll give you options. They'll probably have specific options that only your bank will provide you that you didn't know about. But you're not going to know this by not talking to your bank. Now, if you do get in it with a friend or family member, make sure that they are a trustworthy friend or family member who aren't going to just spend the money that's in the account, because most accounts you'll need to put some money in. Because it's their account too. And granted, you're using it for your business, but they're like, hey, this is my money too. And they start spending your money, you might have some problems. So make sure you get involved with somebody who's going to be responsible. What you can do is apply for a business loan. Now, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to invest in a course for a couple grand, they're probably not going to give you a loan. That's not enough money for them, right? You normally need to ask for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, $50,000, $30,000, something high. $5,000 is not going to be enough. That's just not what they do. Now, as you get the money, or as they go through the process to get the money, it's going to take you a lot of time, effort, and paperwork, because they're making sure that, if they're going to loan you this large sum of cash, they got to make sure they're going to get that cash back. Now, that's what banks are there for. They're there to borrow money or let people deposit money so they can borrow it out to people. But their business is not going to stand if they borrow to the wrong people. So they do a lot more due diligence, and they're also under a lot more federal guidelines. So going through this route is more official. You can get more money. However, it's going to be a longer and it's going to be a tougher process. You're going to have less flexibility of what the money you can do with it and things like that. They're going to go over everything that you're planning to do with the money. They're going to see business plans and, projected revenue, and they're going to try and see your track record and past history. But if they like what they see, you're going to get a ton of money. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you get it once and it works out for the bank, you basically have somebody in your back pocket anytime you need to finance like new businesses, new ventures, investments, etc. But it takes a lot of upfront work, but it could be worth it if your plan is big enough. If you just join it for a course, not going to be enough. Many banks, especially regional ones, they are offering cash advance, but no interest up to a year. So this is not a regular business loan. This is similar to opening to that joint bank account. They often do all have low rates, but you have to have a good credit score. They don't mess around with broke people who have no interest in changing their credit score. We could talk about changing your credit score in a different training, but in general, there are a couple of things that you could do to improve your credit score right away. The process is relatively fast for these other loans, and application is done online. So it's not much different than what you would do for these personal lending companies, but it's from your bank, your Wells Fargo, your Chases, your Bank of Americas of the world, things like that. Now, there's also other options, like there's a credit union. So a credit union, they can offer personal loans with lower interest rates and more flexible terms from other lenders. Why? Because that's their credit union. It's basically all the people in the area, they're putting their money together, they're pooling their money together. So people can, they're under less pressure from like shareholders and other bigwigs like that. And it's more about the people and helping the community. So that's why you can often get more favorable rates. I've gotten my car loan from a credit union, much better rates than what anybody else was going to give me. And they make it real easy to make payments. So it's been great. Major banks. So this is what I was talking about. They offer personal loans like Wells Fargo and Citibank. So we kind of talked about that in the last slide. But you got to talk to your bank. It's the only way you know. They have money for a reason. They're looking to do something with it because they're hoping that they're basically investing in you as you invest in your business. So they want to get a little piece of the action. But if you're going to be making money because you're joining the Get Off the Bench Challenge, or you're doing personal coaching with me, so that money will come back to you and then some, they want to be able to say, hey, we helped you out. Give us a little piece of the action and let us have a little testimonial to say, hey, we help out small businesses. Last thing, almost last thing. Did you check your couch cushions? What do I mean by that? Well, we often have like this rainy day money that's doing us no good sitting around collecting dust. It's not collecting interest. It's not working for us. It's just sitting around doing nothing. In fact, it's losing value because of inflation. So $1, I mean, just think about it. $1 in the year 2000 is worth less than $1 is right now when I'm recording this in December of 2019. So you might as well use that money to invest in your business, right? And sometimes this can be paper or coin money you have. You might have this giant coin jug in your house the way I do, that every time you have spare change, you put the change in there. Or you have like a swear jar or something that just a bunch of cash in there. Start to collect that cash, put it together. Maybe you have a savings account that you're forced to open with your checking account. I know I did. And every month, my bank automatically takes out a bit from my checking and put in my savings and make me do that. Instead of just letting it sit there or moving it back to the checking account, why not invest in that? Why not? Yeah, this is where jar. So like the money you have that's loose change or whatever, paper and coin money, it may not be enough to purchase for that $2,000 course, for example, or some more expensive mentoring. But it could be enough to help you buy some supplies, buy some ads, pay for your domain and your website, right? These are all still investments. So, don't think just because it's not the full amount that is not something you can't use. You might want to cash in your stocks or some of your 401k. This is your money. If you're going to wait till you're 65, why? What's the point of doing that? Because you may not have enough in that 401k. You could have made it grow more quickly by cashing some of it out. Yes, you will pay some penalties. Yes, you'll have to pay some taxes on it. However, this is not just to buy a TV or a swimming pool or something that's going to lose money as soon as you get it. This is to help you build a business. And the business is going to be a cash generating machine. So why not use a little cash to kind of, kickstart it and have it give you a lot more cash. And as you do things properly, as you go through the Get Off the Bench Challenge or as you go through my coaching, you're going to definitely do the things that you need to do to keep generating that money more and more and more. That's what I'm here for, right? And again, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion. Others may disagree, and that's totally fine. A business, especially for those of us who are entrepreneur-minded, is a much better investment than anything else that you can get out there, especially starting out. Now, as you get bigger and you get into real estate and you start buying other businesses, those are all wonderful, great investments. But that initial money is going to come from your first cash generating machine that you're going to build lovingly with your own two hands. And it's going to be your baby. And sure, that baby is going to help you be able to buy more assets and more other things that you're going to really enjoy. But the thought process and the skills you learn by going through the Get Off the Bench Challenge or working with me, it's going to help you do better later on down the line. Much better than working for 40 years, 40 plus hours a week, and hopefully maybe you have a little bit to retire on with that 401k. Okay, here we are, friends and family. Now, this is one that a lot of people overlook and they forget. And the reason why is, number one, they don't want to get turned down. And number two, they're afraid of what they're going to say or think or be, basically be questioned about the plans. And this says a lot more about you than it does about them. One, maybe you have a shitty track record and every time you've done something, you never follow through, or you started something, you never follow through. Or maybe you are somebody who has borrowed money and you never paid it back. Or, you've actually proven to be not responsible in other areas of your life. So, you know that, and you don't want to get hit in the face with the harsh reality of people saying no to you because of your own actions. Well, here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, that's going to happen. You're going to get slapped in the face with a bunch of no's and a bunch of rejection, especially as you're learning and you're building the skill. You're not going to be good at no matter anything right away, no matter what you're doing. So get used to it now. And your friends and family, they're either going to be more likely to tell you like straight up, honest truth. It's going to help you grow, or they're at least going to sugarcoat it, which doesn't help you at all, but at least it makes you feel better, right? But friends and family can be a great way. You don't got to get it all from one person. You can add it up, right? A couple dollars from mom, couple from dad, a little bit from brother, sister, best friend over here, cousin over there, etc. Now, when you go to friends and family, you approach them like a professional. So first off, you don't be like, hey, mom, dad, let me borrow a couple bucks. Hey, mom, dad, and if you can do that, more power to you. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Just get the money any means necessary. But for the most part, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to act like an entrepreneur. You don't wait to be an entrepreneur before you act like one. It doesn't work that way. Start doing the actions of an entrepreneur to become an entrepreneur. So you come with a clear plan of how you're going to use the money that they will lend you, right? You will tell them why you think you're a good investment. Either you as in personal development, you in your business, or whatever it is that you're getting the money from. You're going to let them know how they will be repaid. And more importantly, you're going to let them know when they're going to be repaid. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a parent, grandparent, whoever that will just gift you the money, that's great. You don't got to worry about it. The only issue is, at least in my personal experience, I've seen this a lot. The ones who are gifted the money, they don't treasure it. They don't treat it as valuable. They think they have this untapped gold mine, and all of a sudden their motivation goes down. Not to mention, they aren't taking it seriously when, things happen with mommy and daddy's money. But look, I'm not here to judge. I'm just reporting on, what I've seen. And if you can get gifted the money, that's great. But in general, you're going to have to ask for a loan. And in that loan, you're going to have to basically keep it real. Like, look, I'm going to pay you back in a certain amount of time. I'll give you a little interest on top just for your trouble. And, it's good. I'm good for it. Right. And here's why it's good for it. And then the more prepared you are, charts, organizations, whatever it is, and the better, more polished of your presentation. I mean, presentation could be very casual of just having dinner and talking, the better, right? You're going to come up with some resistance. Like, I don't know. You can't give up and you can't pressure them. You got to keep it real and understand everybody's not going to want to do it for whatever reason. So make sure you have different people that you know that you can go to, and hopefully somebody will help you out. Now, if you have a bad track record, right, you have to bring out the big guns. You got to put on a suit or a nice dress for the ladies. Show testimonials of others who have invested in the course that you're looking into or the investment you're looking into. Show them that. Like, look, I'm not just doing this from some random fly-by-night company. These people are legit. They've been here for a little while. Look how much money these people have made. Look at the skills they have learned, which helped them in their careers. I'm trying to better myself. I made some bad decisions before, but this is one of the first good decisions. And I think we can both agree, the better I become, the better off I will be. And then as you're talking, you're probably going to offer them a higher interest rate. It really got to make it worth their while. It might be 30%, right? Something crazy, something that a venture capitalist will want if they're investing in a business, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're getting your friends and family to be a venture capitalist. So what's going to happen at that point is if one person doesn't have everything you need, again, you have to make the same deal or the same type of deal with a bunch of people. Now, it doesn't mean everybody gets the same interest rate. Doesn't mean everybody may have the same timetable of return. I would imagine that people who lend more, you'll want to give them more favorable deals for them. But the goal is to get the money so you can actually invest in yourself. This isn't, again, for some splurge. You're not buying a TV or a boat. You're here to invest in your business. Your business, if you do it properly and you go with me in the Get Off the Bench Challenge, or you go with me in personal coaching or even group coaching, you're going to make sure that the money you're taking now is going to be invested wisely. It will grow. For the $1,000 they give you, you're going to make countless of thousands down the road. But you have to treat it that way. And it all starts with how you ask your friends and family for the investment. So in conclusion, these ideas should just get your mind thinking of different ways you can get investment money. Now, the ideas I presented were pretty wild and varied. Maybe none of those resonated with you, but hopefully it got your mind thinking of other ways that you can come up with the funds for the investment. There are probably some ideas I missed. Let me know in the comments if there's other ideas out there that I didn't think about or I don't know about. Help me help everybody else by giving them more options. And that's more ways people can research, right? And so in the next module, we're going to talk about ways you can generate your own cash, even if you have no skills. Now, this is going to be a totally different way than just trying to get it quickly. This might take some of these ideas that I'm going to present in the next module, might take a little longer, but at least you won't necessarily need as much capital up front. Now, again, if you like what you heard here, make sure you check me out at victordreynolds.com. Go ahead and jump on my email list. I got a lot more information like this and daily inspiration, as well as the getoffthebenchchallenge.com. It's a good way to help yourself get your business off the bench and get the proper fundamentals you need to make your first sale potentially during the 21 days that we're offering the challenge. In fact, it's probably some of my best stuff I'm giving away during the challenge for the amount I'm paying. So I'm a little embarrassed, but what the hell? You might as well get it while I'm still nuts, right? And if you want to work with me directly on the mindset that you're going to need, not to mention the hard skills, go ahead, book a call with me. You can go to my page, victordreynolds.com/book a call. And you'll be able to, we can sit down, talk one-on-one on how I can help you with your business and how you can help yourself. I can't work with everybody, but if we're a good fit, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the amount of income you're able to generate with a couple of tweaks and some new skills. All right, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm looking forward to hearing how you guys are taking these ideas and running with them and investing in yourself and in your business. All right, I will see you guys later. Peace out.